Hello everybody, I have got a real quick guide here on how to get the Tenebrium skill really early. So basically I just played through the character creation and made it to Cyseal. And then the first thing I'm going to do here is head in and speak with Evelyn. Evelyn is going to get us our first Bloodstone. I you can kind of skip this if you want to, but I don't. For whatever reason, I just like to get the early bloodstones as soon as I can. And to be honest, at a certain point, Evelyn does leave, and so I'm not sure if that bloodstone is actually missable or not. But obviously, if she does take off, and you hadn't done that part, well, then you would have missed it. So I always like to grab it first. Again, I don't know 100% if this is actually, absolutely required or not, but this is kind of how I do it. But anyways, all right, so you teleport here to the end of time. This is your first trip there, and that does the introduction to zigzags and whatnot. The next thing I did here is actually just go back to Cyseal and speak with Aureus. Now, the reason for doing that is to grab the second bloodstone, or actually technically I think in this case it's a starstone. They basically function the same way. But anyways, so what we do here is speak with Aureus, and he will allow us to, as long as you pick the right dialogue options, he'll allow us to get into the King Crab Inn. But I actually am going to take a little stop here and go to Esmeralda's shop. The reason being, we need to raid her panty drawer. No, I'm not kidding. We actually do need to do that. Well, need is a strong word. This is optional. Anyways, all right. So, that gives us charisma. So, I'm not 100% sure if we actually needed to do that or not, but I think it helps us with some of the dialogues. We'll see if I'm remembering correctly. Anyway. But anyways, all right, so this is the King Crab Inn, and the guard obviously will not let us in unless we've spoken with Aureus. And this is our second Starstone. At that point, I just head to the end of time, and basically our first doorway is opened at that point. Or, sorry, our first room, I guess. Which is the spot where you can actually recruit members. I should say it's how we recruit our henchmen. Yeah, I was trying to think of the right term that they use in this game. Basically, actually, I've already recruited Medora and Jahan. Medora is amazing. I always use her. She's just too good to not use. Jahan, on the other hand, I'll only use him for crafting. But anyways, so here is our, I think this is the Hall of Heroes is the name of this place. Again, in order to get the Tenebrium skill, I don't know that you necessarily need to do it in this, specific order. Or at least with these bloodstones, you can probably skip them, to be completely honest. But again, basically, I try to get in here as early as I can because there's a couple of these henchmen that I like to grab. Actually, technically, it's really only one of them, and that's I really like Ambrosia. She's level 5 though, so we're not actually able to recruit her until we hit level 4. But that'll be soon enough. Just Linnea there is another kind of decent one that I've used before. But anyways, all right. So we're back in Cyseal now. You actually don't need to walk into the town hall bathroom like this. You can actually use your teleporter pyramid that Arhu gave us I think it's after the first time you go to the end of time there. Once you leave, Arhu basically stops you and gives you the first teleporter pyramid. That is the red one. Again, you can actually just use the red one and teleport right into that room there and grab the blue one too. Or do what I did there and just walk in. Now, this is the northeastern gate of Cyseal, and basically what we're going to do here, and this is, you're actually required to have Walk in shadows for this. Basically, it's a scoundrel skill, so you don't necessarily when you create your two characters, you actually don't need to have that. And there is another character that I think that starts out with it. I can never remember his name, but I always just use the one of the main characters to do this. And again, if you feel like you need to, just pick up 1 point into Scoundrel and then go buy the Walk in Shadows book. It is sold inside Seal there. I basically every time I actually start the game, I always have at least one of my main characters take that, just because it's so useful to have. And it's like I said, it's absolutely needed if you want to do this. So the idea here is. And actually, you don't need that rain spell either. There is a way to get or to maneuver your character through here without stepping on this the burning whatever this stuff is on the ground. Basically, what happens here is if you step in any of these burning areas and you're invisible, your invisibility will drop. So you have to be really careful there. Basically, you go invis there, and then once you get to this spot here, you're going to want to stop and wait for your cooldown to come back up. You have to be really careful where you stop at. Like I said, it has to be kind of like right around in here. Basically, if you try to go too far, that monster up there will catch you. And at this point, what am I, level 3 or something? So I'm not going to be able to take this enemy on. So again, basically just stop here. Wait for your Walk in Shadows cooldown to come back up, and then re-invis yourself. One thing that you can do here too that basically that you can do better than what I did here is here. There's actually a star stone on the ground there that we can grab too. So that's our third one, I believe, if I'm counting right. But anyways, what you can actually do here is move your character all the way to the there's actually a waypoint right there, but you can actually move a little bit farther down towards the entrance to the next area, and then just use a teleporter pyramid. Otherwise, you have to be really careful there, because if you just use the waypoint, and if that monster is too close, he'll get you into combat and mess you up. So, anyways, this is the path into Lukula Forest. Again, we're not supposed to be here really for quite some time yet. But, again, our goal here is to get Tenebrium as soon as we possibly can. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll head here into the Lukula Forest, and Arhu will jump us immediately. Stealthy feline that he is. There's another waypoint there. And here he kind of just tells you about some events here, and there's hopefully you've already played this before, because I'll be honest, like this whole route and kind of just undertaking this is I don't know, again, you're not really supposed to come here this early. There's a ton of storyline stuff that will kind of be pretty disjointed by doing this, which is, again, fine if you've already played the game, which is, again, what I highly recommend prior to doing this. But, if you're brand new to it and you absolutely have to get to Tenebrium as early as possible, well, again, this is how to do it. But anyways, all right, so basically right here at the gates of Silver Glen, Jahan will talk about his past a bit, and then we've got an option here, which is kind of interesting, that lets us pick up a bold. I forget what those are. They're not talents. Maybe they're just called traits. I can't remember. But I think I went with blunt there, which is really good. I think it's immunity to cursed or something like that. I forget. But anyways, all right. So there's two things that you can do. Basically, you can enter Silver Glen here and enter Lawrence's office. Now, Brandon will be here, and you can talk to him basically about Tenebrium. Now, I'll be honest, I actually don't even know that you need to do this, but he basically kind of tells you about the Troll King and how, if you want to mine Tenebrium, you basically have to go to the Troll King's lair. Now, I'll be honest, we're not going to do that because we don't need to, and I think that there's a better way to go about this. Again, now, I'll be completely honest, I don't even know that you need to talk to Brandon here to even do this. But I did anyway. Just, I guess technically you get a little bit of extra experience if you do that. So, anyways, all right. So I kind of, I don't know, this looks a little goofy. I'm back at the entrance of Silver Glen again. But what we're gonna do here is actually head out the, what would this be? The southwestern exit. Here's another waypoint, and we're going to meet a random Immaculate. I think he's running for his life here. Yeah, here he is. Alright, so this is Samid. You can actually skip him if you want. I don't think that that's wise. But if you want to, what you can do is... I don't know why you would want to do this. You can technically invis before Y, and basically, just take your one character that has the invisibility spell and walk out of the gate and kind of run down this route, and you'll see Samid just zoom on past you. Basically, Invis just, it really messes with the events in the game because, it flags your character as kind of like not being there, but it still like activates the events. So I'm not going to go into that too much. It's just kind of interesting, the different goofy things that happen when you use invisibility. But, anyways, technically now I think this spot up here, I could have invised past these guys too, but I didn't. Reason being, they actually give you a good chunk of experience that I kind of wanted to get right now. So this, I believe, is kind of where, I don't know if the smelly panties help here or not. But we're gonna try to use this charm ability. Yeah, I think that helps out those smelly panties, but again, I'm not 100% sure on that. It's yeah, +1 to charisma. And what does charisma say here? Charisma determines the first impression you make on other people and your talent for charming, intimidating, and reasoning. So again, it should actually give you a boost to that. So again, I don't know. I always save when I do those dialogue options, as you notice there. And reason being, obviously, if you fail, that ends up starting a fight there. So that's actually really important to save beforehand. Again, otherwise, just take whatever character that you've got the invisibility spell on and just invis past those guys. That'll work too. Here's kind of where there's actually a goblin here that I actually did a dialogue with as well. I think that's a good spot to grab some extra experience as well. He's got that, whatever you call that, like the charm, intimidation, whatever game. So again, he's another good little chunk of experience there. Now I don't think I needed to use, or actually I'm not sure if I needed to use invisibility right there to get to this particular spot. But this is the trial grounds now. I'm not even going to bother going through there because we don't need to. And I just kind of wanted to take a little bit of a break. And again, so the idea here is to just wait for our invisibility to come back up. There's actually a battle here that if you walk too far forward, it'll trigger unless you're invisible. So again, good old invisibility, cheesing a bunch of the fights. So we'll just run on past. And yeah, that's so cheap. But yeah, anyways. So again, hopefully you're familiar with this path. I mean, you want to take this exact path. Don't try to deviate because there's a bunch of extra weird fights around this area. And, again, if you're here as early as I am, you're going to have some problems. You're not going to have a good time. So, alright, we're just going to continue on here. Usually what I do, too, and I skipped it this time around, but I usually actually go up into the Goblin Village because there's a bunch of merchants in there that I like to unlock or whatever, be able to interact with, however you want to say that. But again, for this video, it's not necessarily not necessary. So we're just going to walk right on by. So here's kind of where this gets kind of crazy. So I already gave Medora my blue teleporter pyramid, and I give it to her because she's got the most strength of all of my characters right now. And we're going to need that strength in order to throw this. So I'm just going to throw it right across the river there. I suspect that the developers didn't intend for you to be able to do this. But, for the sake of fun and exploration, we've done it. Alright, so you whip the teleporter pyramid across and teleport across the river. And then pick it back up. To be fair, we're kind of, we don't really actually, well, yeah, never leave your teleporter pyramids just laying around. They're just so good. But anyways, alright, so we're going to make a little trip here through the Immaculate Forest. And so normally you wouldn't be able to get here until much later and after we had done a ton of different events. We still do need to be super careful. The forest itself over here is fairly safe, again, as long as you stay on this path. And then there's actually a bridge that leads to the Dark Forest, and that's the next area, but do not cross that bridge. That will trigger an event that we don't want to deal with quite yet. So that's the bridge right there. Yeah, there's a bridge to the Dark Forest. So again, don't cross that. We don't want to be there yet. But we're almost there, and we're almost completely done here. So here is a waypoint right outside of. This is the Immaculate Village, I guess they call it. I can't actually remember the name of this place. But what you want to do here is invis outside, because these guys at the gate will demand that you show an Immaculate Amulet, which we do not have yet. There's ways to get them early on, but it takes a little bit of leveling or stealing or doing some other events to get it. And again, our goal is to just get in here as soon as we can. So you just basically invis into this this back room right here. And again, stay here until your invisibility timer comes back up, because the chick there that just nuked her apprentice, I think that her name is like Attenbera or something like that. If you do not have an Immaculate Amulet and you try to interact with her right now, you will have to fight her and you will die. So again, make sure you don't do that. But all right, so this is the toughest. Well, I don't know if it's the toughest part, but the timing is important here. So invis up, run over. There's a book up on the bookshelf here. How to handle Tenebrium. And then I'm going to grab a Tenebrium ore as well. And we'll just run right back to where we were at before. Do not try to run outside. You don't have enough time. Because your invis will drop and the guards will spot you and they will kill you. So there we have it, and then here I fail miserably because I forgot. I've got both of my teleporter pyramids on that character, so I'm going to need to send this to somebody else. I could have used the waypoint, though, too, and that would have been fine. But alright, so there we have it. We've got a little dialogue here. Oh, yeah, this is about gifts. But anyways, alright, so now we've actually, we've got that book on how to handle Tenebrium. And if you want to use that right now, go right ahead. It will teach you the Tenebrium ability. And I don't know though if I mean, definitely don't pick up a chunk of the Tenebrium before you have that. I guess actually it doesn't matter as long as you've got Brendan's what is it, the blood cage or whatever that goofy item is that he gives you to handle the Tenebrium. But if you didn't grab that from Brendan, if you grab a piece of Tenebrium, you'll get Tenebrium rot, which is bad news. So absolutely do not do that. But all right, so we're gonna finish this up here, and if you use the dialogue option there, let's discuss your retirement plan. Here you'll get an option on whether or not to keep the Tenebrium or give it to Brendan. And I say time to give Brandon the Tenebrium and learn the secrets of Silver Glen. That gives you, I think it's spiritual, which I like. I think that's immunity to charm, if I'm remembering correctly. But anyways, all right. So that basically that continues the quest. Again, normally this would resolve in a completely different way. You would have to go and fight the Troll King and, or at least sneak into his area, which I don't know if that's even doable. I haven't tried that lately. It might be possible to sneak in there and grab some Tenebrium from him, but what's the point? You can zoom right on over to Sacred Stone. That's the name of that village. And again, either grab the book or grab a chunk of Tenebrium off the shelf and be on your merry way. But that's essentially it. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. There's not much else to say. Again, there's some questions I have on whether or not you even need to speak with Brandon about this stuff at all. Again, I'm not sure though. I would say maybe if you skip speaking with Brendan and start this quest, if you go all the way to Sacred Stone, grab a book or grab that book on how to handle Tenebrium, and then use it. And the cool thing about that is if you use that, basically it stays forever. It's a permanent book, so it's not used up when you actually use it, like a lot of the spell books are and stuff. But it basically teaches all of your characters how to handle Tenebrium. And so again, if you skip Brendan, which again I don't actually recommend, you might as well talk to him and start that quest. But yeah, anyways, that's how to do it. So now we've got Tenebrium. This is the book. It's essentially worthless though now. After you've already spoke with Brandon and completed the quest, again that book, really doesn't do anything for you anymore. So there you have it. Now you've got the Tenebrium weapons, and or I should say the Tenebrium skills, so that you can use Tenebrium weapons as well as handle the actual ore itself. All right, that's all I got for you. As always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more. Thanks for watching.
Do you believe in the gods, baby? Because you're the answer to all my prayers.